Welcome to the Travelex Weekly Outlook for August 22nd. The U.S. dollar got off to a mixed start to the week. We have seen the U.S. currency lose a little bit of ground to its risky counterparts, currencies like the euro, sterling, and the Aussie and Canadian dollars. This is coming as stocks have started the week on positive ground. Last week, if you recall, we did see U.S. stocks slide by the most. Actually, they slid for the fourth straight week, and under that outlook, they actually helped drag down some of those riskier counterparts. But nonetheless, stocks this week, they're off to a positive start, and this is on hopes that remarks later in the week by Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke might offer some soothing words to the economy, and so that is helping to give risky assets a boost this morning. But nonetheless, we have seen the dollar. It is mixed, as I said. It is faring better against some of its fellow safe haven counterparts. Those are currencies like the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. Last week, it was mostly down week for the U.S. currency, although it did rise against the Swiss franc. This came after officials from Switzerland once again stepped up some of their efforts to tame recent record franc appreciation. In fact, we have seen Swiss authorities step up those moves to rein in currency appreciation, as that has shown signs of doing some damage to the nation's key export and tourism sectors. So nonetheless, that did put some general pressure on the Swiss franc, and that did allow the U.S. currency to move higher against its Swiss rival. But overall, it was a down week for the U.S. currency. This is because the swings in equity market volatility, they persisted, but they were less turbulent than the week before. So as a result, that helped to tame some demand for the safer U.S. currency. We also had a handful of some disappointing U.S. economic indicators. That did little to underpin support for the U.S. currency, and also did little to quell talk that the U.S. economy might be headed for another downturn. Some of the key indicators that investors focused on last week, that came from existing home sales. They were down for the third time in August. That marked the third decline in 4 months. Weekly jobless claims, those rose to a 4-week high, heading in the wrong direction. And then the so-called Philly Fed Index, that is a gauge of mid-Atlantic business conditions, that unexpectedly contracted, actually fell down to its lowest level in nearly 2.5 years. So again, that did little to underpin any type of support for the U.S. currency. Excuse me. But nonetheless, I think investors this week and in the coming week, they'll really focus on Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. He's due to speak on the economy on Friday, and so investors will really look to his comments to see whether or not he offers anything reassuring, and to really see if he hints that the U.S. Central Bank is near offering more support to the economy. Keep in mind where he is speaking at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That is the same venue where just a year ago he laid the groundwork for another round of quantitative easing. That was the Fed's $600 billion bond buying scheme known as QE2. So investors, I think they are thinking that perhaps the Fed chairman might signal that Fed officials might be willing to do more to support the economy to keep it from tipping into another recession. So that is going to be the focal point of the week. Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke, he's due to speak on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then throughout the week, for the latest on the health of the U.S. economy, investors will look to data on the U.S. housing market. We'll get some key indicators on durable goods orders, as well as get a second print of U.S. GDP for the second quarter. So the best prospects for the dollar to end the week on firm footing or firmer footing would be to see any type of positive results on the data front, and then any type of remarks by Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. Should he stop short of signaling more support to the economy, that would tend to be dollar positive. That's going to do it for this week. For the latest on the U.S. currency, feel free to check us out online.